Shokoge. Since in regard to the precepts, meditation, and emancipation, may the light and fragrant cloud of this incense pervade the dark world. We offer this incense to the countless Buddhas of the worlds of the 10 directions. May we be able to see and partake of the fragrance of the world of transformation. Gojo Gate. Yo
For today's sermon, let's put our hands in both tight joining of mudra. And begin some silent meditation. So, again, in silent meditation, we're not trying to push things away. We're not trying to create optimal circumstances. We're just taking things as they are. So, not being concerned at making noise or hearing noise. Oshi. In being able to have the opportunity to discern weakness is not necessarily a regular part of Japanese practice, but it must be a message to contemplate during the process of service or honored to be able to do something. Sunday, maybe I'm always looking for something to spark of inspiration for my. So, sometimes it comes from my life, sometimes but always try to apply the practice to myself. So, a term that we use a lot is Jiso, our lineage of Yoji lineage. Basically means ultimate reality as it is. One of the interesting things about Buddhism, as opposed to Christianity, if we're going to juxtapose, is that Christianity looks a lot at this time that you're here on earth as kind of boot camp for the rewards that you will receive in the future. For good boys and girls, you will get the rewards in the future. Buddhism is not tied to that. Being here now, dealing with the causes and conditions and situations you have. And then within the context of the Lotus Sutra, because we've all heard the Lotus Sutra assures us that we not only are assured of enlightenment, but that we are sent to share this enlightenment with others as saints, as bodhisattvas from under the earth. And I find this very interesting because we're basically told that the confused beings that we are actually advanced practitioners of Buddhism under the guise of confused beings, which is a bit confusing. Right? So what I try to think about is the fact that each of us is in the situation that we're in, if we look at Buddhist cosmology, out of choice. That we were these infinite beings that chose to reincarnate or incarnate or coalesce in the causes and conditions that we were born into. For a reason, that we needed those causes and conditions to help us reach our highest potential as advanced practitioners of Buddhism, bodhisattvas, here to help other people in their practice, in their highest potentials as Buddhas. And then within the context of the Lotus Sutra, it says that we are assured of enlightenment. Therefore, all of the things, all of the causes and conditions that we are dealing with in our lives are all absolutely necessary for us reaching the ultimate goal, which is to the attainment of Buddhahood. So, as such, it kind of takes away the complaining of life. Because in essence, you chose to be here. You chose to coalesce in these causes and conditions that you have now. And those causes and conditions are necessary for your growth. You don't throw anything away in Buddhism. So when we deal with uncomfortable situations, we try not to push them away. We try not to sweep them under the rug or hide them. We try to assess them mindfully, honestly. Jiso, ultimate reality as it is the acceptance of things as they are, without trying to make them something they're not. Sometimes we are in uncomfortable situations, as it is. There's a lot of causes and conditions that go into that. And though we may think that we have all of the information necessary, what we have to always remind ourselves of is the basic principles of Buddhism, and the wheel of becoming, the wheel of existence, that at the center of the hub are the three poisons, the three beginnings of where we start to get off track, you could say. So initially, we come into being, we have no opinions about anything. We're like a child over here. Initially, he had no opinions. There was just what was given, what was there. And then gradually, he's developed positive attitudes, neutral attitudes, and negative attitudes towards things that may or may not themselves be inherently any of those things. Right? But he got more of this thing than that thing, and over time he thought that this was a positive thing, and he didn't like the taste of that thing, so that was a negative thing, and he didn't really care about this thing either way, and that was a neutral thing. So we start applying these labels of positive, neutral, and negative to the conditions that are around us, the people that are around us. But those causes and conditions are part of the process. There's no pushing them away. There's just realizing that they are, and that this struggle that we're all under of trying to come to grips with our environment, people in our environment, the thoughts in our head, our aging, our past, our future, all of these things, we're constantly having to try to come to grips with these things in the context of everything around us. And some things are not comfortable. We start thinking about, wow, nobody understands me. Nobody understands how much this hurts me, or how much I love this thing. And we start to look for ways to express that. And we find disappointment if somebody doesn't understand that. But what we forget is that everyone is constantly doing that too. Everyone is constantly trying to defend themselves against what they perceive as the outside world. Defend what they perceive as what defines them as who they are. We're all doing it constantly. And as a result, we start to get defensive, and we start to want to protect that thing that is us, or our future, or our past, or our whatever. And we get really caught up into that, thinking that that is the focus of our lives. That sense of me. Or that our entire lives are about finding out who I am. When the realization in the end is that you are no different than anyone else. Yes, you were struggling. Yes, you were looking for meaning and answers and success and pleasure and whatever. But so is everybody else. And everybody else is in this constant flow of change, of constantly moving from one thing to the next all the time. It's called samsara. Whirlpool. It is the river of becoming. And we're caught in this, and we forget, and we become attached to these things that we think define us, or that direct us, or give meaning or purpose, and we forget that we're all in that same thing, and that if you think of the vast sea of samsara in all time, past, present, and future, how many times have you been in the same situation? How many times have you been a mother or a father, a priest, or whatever? How many times? So this process of becoming is influenced by our ignorance of the conditions around us. Maybe it's just that we didn't know that we didn't have the information in a certain situation. We didn't have the data, so we formed an opinion about something. And then later our opinions changed about that thing because we didn't have all the data. Therefore, we were shown our own ignorance about that particular thing. We don't even know that we're ignorant about it. For example, I didn't know what I didn't know as a parent. I didn't even have any idea of what I didn't know because I didn't know. Greed, anger, ignorance. These are the three poisons that end up changing our minds about things. Right? Because once we go positive, neutral, and negative, we start craving more positive than negative. Right? Greedy. If we get more negative than positive, we get mad, right? Get irritated about it, frustrated, right? And because of ignorance, we think that we need more positive than we need negative, right? Because our ignorance is that this is positive and this is negative, but in reality, they're all the same. There's the middle path, there's the neutral. The Lotus Sutra, my favorite part is it says the Buddhists think of only one thing: how can I cause all sentient beings the unsurpassed way and quickly become free? Which to me is just saying that in the midst of all of the stuff that I'm struggling with to deal with self, to deal with my connecting with society, with the fact that I'm no more special than anybody else, but at the same time I am a unique human being. What it says to me at that point is, okay, that's great. That's your practice. But your focus is different. Practice. Your focus is, how do I cause all thinking and feeling beings to be inspired to be better? To be inspired to enter into the unsurpassed way. Be inspired to let go of their previous held notions and biases and conceptions about themselves, about others, about situations, about the nature of time and space and future. How can I inspire people to change the way that they look at things, to not necessarily think only about what they're dealing with, but to also recognize that every being is dealing with the same. We think that we free ourselves first, but in reality, free others before we can free ourselves. Because we're not different than anyone else. And it's that connection to everyone that is the freedom that we're seeking. You really aren't any different than anybody else. That grumpy person at the store is you. It is you. You come from the same spark of life. You share the same infinite capacity for enlightenment. You are both potentially Buddhas. They are no different than you. They are learning the lessons just the same as you. By seeing yourself in them, then you see the Buddha in them. And you see the Buddha in everyone that you meet. And that's an amazing thing. To no longer see a separate being from you, but to see another Buddha. Right? Deserving of our gratitude, our sympathy for when they're in pain or their ignorance, sympathy for their greed, or sympathy for their anger. Because you know where it comes from. You've been there, done that. So we don't get as mad at people anymore. We don't hold on to our anger as much. Our practice is about being realistic with yourself. I was angry yesterday. Yes, I was. I was angry. But I also now recognize that anger. I can do something about it going forward, even if it's just a little nudge at a time. When you learn a new skill, first thing you do is you remember to do it after you always forgot to do it. Next step is to remember to do it in the midst of doing it. And then the final step is to be able to not do it beforehand. Right? So instead of beating ourselves up about being a jerk one day, or about being selfish, or being a whatever, We note it to ourselves with mindfulness in our practice. Aha! There I am being self-centered. There I am attaching things. There I am feeling defensive, and I have to defend myself against whatever my perceived thing is. Okay, I'm going to note that, and I'm going to work on not doing that next time. I like to chant Namu in my head when I recognize these things. It's a way to kind of purify my actions. So I think, oh, I'm being a jerk. So, go practice this year. This is the most important thing since they put out an inspiration for the 100 incense stick challenge again this year, which is about 20 minutes worth of practice. 20 minutes of meditation, 20 minutes of chanting, 20 minutes of saying service, 20 minutes of practice. And trying to get through 100 incense sticks. Or 200 minutes of practice, or whatever it comes out to. So that's good for us to try. It's good for us to push ourselves more. I think that each of us takes too many opportunities to be like, oh, tomorrow. I don't want you to beat yourself up. Let's get practicing. Some of you guys have been here for years. How many of you have a daily practice? How many of you are really pushing yourself to get better? To study more, to be more knowledgeable about your practice, not for yourself, but for the benefit of others. I have people all the time who ask, well, tell me a little more about Buddhism. So each of us should do it more, should study more. Nichiren Shonin said, without study practice, there's no Buddhism. Each of us should study more, especially in this year of Gyo, in this year of practice for all of us. Thank you all very much. We will end the lecture with a little bit of silent meditation, and then we will begin services. So we'll place your hands in Hokai Join, Cosmic Realm Puja. We began with Jin Shinto, we will end with, or with Jo Shinto, and we will end with Jin Shinto. Silent meditation, sublime Dharma, the Odaimoku, and the preciousness of life. Please turn to page 5. Honor be to the great mandala, the perfect circle of all honorable ones written by our founder Nichiren Shonin. Honor be to the eternal Buddha Shakyamuni, our original teacher, the Lord of the Dharma, our great benefactor who attained enlightenment in the remotest past. Honor be to the Sutra, the lotus flower of the wonderful Dharma.
the teaching of equality, the great wisdom, the one vehicle. Honor be to our founder, the great Bodhisattva Nichiren Shonin, dispatched by our original Buddha. Honor be to Rinpoche Jara Nichiji Shonin, the first overseas missionary. Honor be to the protective deities of the Dharma. We honor all of you. May you come to this consecrated place out of your compassion towards us. See us with the light of your wisdom and accept our offering of chanting the sutra. Namu
Page 9.
Verses for opening the sutra. Most profound and wonderful teaching is presented in this sutra. This sutra is difficult to meet even once in thousands and millions of aeons. Now we have been able to see, hear, receive, and keep this sutra. May we understand the most excellent teaching of the Tathagata. The most excellent teaching of the great vehicle is very difficult for us to understand. We shall be able to enlighten it when we see, hear, or touch this sutra. Expounding is the Buddha's wisdom. Expounded is the Buddha's truth. The letters composing this sutra are the Buddha's manifestation. Just as perfume is caught by something put nearby, so shall we be richly benefited by this sutra, even when we are not aware of being so benefited. Because infinite merits are accumulated in this sutra, we can expiate our past transgressions, do good deeds, and attain Buddhahood by the merits of this sutra. It does not matter whether we are wise or not, or whether we believe the sutra or slander it. This sutra is the most wonderful and most excellent taught by the Buddhas of the past, present, and future. May we meet and receive it, birth after birth, world after world.
Please turn to page 11.
Dorengekyo, Oben Pondai ni, Ichi Seison,
Jusan Mayan Joni Kido Shai Osu Shoku Chie Jin Jin No Go Chie Mon Ande Nan Yu Isai Shomon Yaku Shi Butsu Shofu No Chi Shobi Shara Butsu No Shinman Yaku Senman Nobu Mushu Shobutsu Jingyo Shobutsu Muryo Go Yumyo Shojinyo Shofu Mon Joju Jin Jin Nijo Oshiki Shosetsu Ishu Nanbe Shari Osu Goju Jobu Shirai Shuju Inen Shuju Iyu Oren Non Jobu Shu Oden Indo Shujo Yori Shojaku Shori Shada Norai Oden Shiken Haramutsu Naidu Soku Shari Osu Noe Shiken Kodai Jin no Muryo Muge Idu Shoizen Noge Nasu Sanmai Jinyu Musai Joju Isai Niso Uho Shari Osu Nyorai no Shuju Bunetsu Yose Sho Bon Ki Yunan Eka Shushin Shari Osu Shuyo Bon Shi Muryo Muren Niso Uho Bushitsu Joju Shari Osu Bushu Busetsu Shoi Shara Busho Joju Daichi Keu Ande Shiro Yui Motsu Yo Motsu Nai no Kujin Shoji So Shoi Sho Yose Yose Sho Yose Tai Yose Riki Yose Sa Yose Jin Yose En Yose Kai Yose Hon Matsu Kyo No Shoi Sho Yose So Yose Sho Yose 太陽性、力陽性、三陽性、人陽性、天陽性、太陽性、本陽性、本末中教徒、小陽性、総陽性、小陽性、太陽性、力陽性、三陽性、人陽性、天陽性、三陽性、本陽性、本末中教徒。
We start at page 35 of the profound. 法蓮華経、往来十郎、本来十六、義理が特部中大
諸行諸法宗無量百千万独裁や葬儀法戦法教権宇宙独中上領有法仏道二大無量法義道中上法法弁権で反義実不滅道上主施設法華道中央師小天中力量天道中道水門に不見中見が滅道国両者利天界永遠菩提小活動心修上義心福七力入難義心欲念仏不義釈心の地や入修造節量中戦八道中上東大師不滅法弁理法権流滅不滅両国宗教不教信教者が不法非中理説無常両国不問師管理が滅道が検証宗教持つ大不解幸福意見信両国小活動人道天道内出意説法真数力行政法は葬儀工場材料重戦重要小中小中上健康人大多少小東東安満天人上中安本人小道各種中法小本法中他定他修道小有楽小天客天中上差修義楽不満たら計算物流大修化上道不義義修検証人流不小空の行政質十万世小大修上義悪道因縁他葬儀と不問三法上小宇宙六入は七力者総回転が心在し説法悪事し出説物無力内見不者意説物難知が知力行政交渉無量寿命無修法無修法小徳の道運知者も投資将棋高難療養人物語実不尿一線欧弁一時老子法実在に本心の成功百理性不空小空天下一文不天道実在に本末理道 天下公地小表示法律着法欲他を悪と中他上司修道教徒不教徒水の諸家の理戦修修法毎日させねいたの修道特有
Please turn to page 83 of your blue Dharma booklet. Pursuit and gratitude of Buddhism. Sago, Opankisho. I, Nichiren, vowed to study and master Buddhism and to obtain Buddhahood, so that I would be able to save the people from whom I had received favors. To attain Buddhahood, one must not think selfishly, even at the cost of their lives. Kokoge, page 64.
異教難事脈残事者が諸部難儀諸部なり年諸部記念諸部長男聖諸部有能聖諸部長年聖諸部諸部郎往来世諸部記郎人間苦しい九春天地宇宙なす道の能力少年年千年記念国理性能収集設理祭年に愛を苦労
Turn to page 71. Today's echo prayer. We respectfully dedicate all our merits now gathered to the great benevolent teacher, Shakyamuni, the eternal Buddha, to the supreme teaching, the Lotus Sutra, to the leader of the declining latter age of the Dharma, our founder, Bodhisattva, Nichiren Shonin, and to the protective deities of the Dharma. May all beings under the heavens and within the four seas live in accordance with the wonderful Dharma. May the wonderful Dharma spread throughout the 10,000 years of the declining latter age of the Dharma. May we realize this world is the eternal Buddha's pure land. May peace permeate all the world and all beings enjoy peace and happiness. May all beings live in safety and live long without misfortune. May the peace and happiness last forever and all beings be prosperous. We pray that all beings awaken to the true nature of reality, which is the Buddha Dharma. May all beings of all realms be helped equally, overcome suffering, and gain the happiness of blissful liberation through the merits of following the teachings of the Lotus Sutra. We pray for the spirits of our ancestors and for all the spirits of the universe. We especially pray for those in sickness and distress. We pray for Gail Bull and Barbara Hardaway, Yosho and Fran Parker, Catherine May, Ricky Thibault, James Hempsey, Helen Lawson, Aaron Floyd, Bessie Floyd, Derek Floyd, Cush Floyd, Jane Foreman Tartaro, Charles D. Cederman, Hope Mosier, the patients at Rochester Psychiatric Center, the victims of the Tree of Life Synagogue shooting, Lucas Scott DeCare, Barbara Hardaway, Paul Yearley, Jason Keeler, the Arisi family, Kim Williams, Jack Williams, Melissa Irhis, Donna Julian Peter Schoaf. We also pray for those who have passed in memoriam. We pray for the Hardaway family, Pearl and Craning families, the Winter and Sparks families, the Valentin family, Jack Parker, Bigelow and Johnson families, the Schoaf and Thibault families, the Badusky and Krasnowski families, Daniel Mayer and Cheryl Cushman, the Fay family, the Rivas family, Kazuko Jordan, the Cederman and Kobayashi families, the Morrissey family, the Jordan family, the Abad family, Kazmarsky family, the Knott family, James Conklin, Sumiko Suzuki, Paquin, Bill Muir Sensei, Harp Sensei, Errol Scott, Wayne, Linda Williams, Aunt Barbara, Michael Maffei, David Spence, the Adams family, Mary Shim, Jesse Rogers, Thomasina Jones, John Coltrane, Bruce Lugo, Anthony Frasino, John Peterson Holcomb, Grant Holcomb II, Dan Clark, all those who have none to pray for them. We also pray as well for Janet Williams. Amen. Page 77 and page 78. Shoeizan, the four great vows of the Bodhisattva. Jomu Hensei Gando.
Sentient beings are innumerable. I vow to save them all.
Onomu Shusei Gandan.
Our departments are inexhaustible. I vow to quench them all.
Omon Mujin Seganchi.
The Buddha's teachings are immeasurable. I vow to know them all.
Butsudo Mujo Seganjo.
The way of the Buddha is unexcelled. I vow to attain the path sublime.
With this body.
Till I attain Buddhahood, I shall hold my faith in the Lotus Sutra. Namu Renge Kyo. Namu Renge Kyo. Namu Renge Kyo.
So. Gansho Everyone to address the where you like it coming up. The silent meditation. Thank you very much. And those who are watching, we have a lovely lunch planned. And looks like the rice cooker's on, so I think we have rice too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wonderful. So we have rice, we have some homemade kimchi today. We've got some really amazing vegan meringue cookies that Tristan made for everybody to try. So I look forward to enjoying with you.
You okay?
Show me right here. Thank you very much.
Well, that's all right, but that's incentive to practice, right?
Yeah.
You weren't expecting to get to the smoke show, so
Yeah, that's true.
why don't you
Yeah.